Ever feel like the future's always just out of reach? Well, today we're going to tackle that head on. We're taking a deep dive into AI in 2025. And let me tell you, it's going to be a wild ride. We've got this really interesting article. It's called How AI Will Change Every Business in 2025. Start preparing now. And it's full of these crazy insights about how we'll work, shop, even how healthcare is going to look different.
Yeah, the thing that really grabbed me about this article is how it doesn't treat AI like it's this thing way off in the future. Like it shows how AI is already impacting stuff, you know, and by 2025, that impact is going to be massive.
Totally. I mean, let's start with something that's already shaking things up. Automation. Everyone knows about those Tesla factory robots, right? But this is way bigger. The article says AI is going to take over those routine tasks in almost every industry. Think customer service chatbots, like those things you talk to online, to like data entry and finance.
Yeah, and the implications of that are huge.
Yeah.
Businesses could see their efficiency go way up and costs go way down. But we got to rethink the future of work, right? Like imagine instead of manually processing all those invoices, you're training AI to do it.
Yeah.
And that frees you up for the more strategic stuff.
It's like AI doing all the boring work so we can focus on the big picture. I like that. The article even mentions this book, The Future of Work by Daryl M. West, which looks at how automation will reshape jobs.
Oh yeah, that's a must read if you want to understand how the whole workforce is changing. As AI takes over the boring tasks, the human skills, like being creative, thinking critically, and that whole emotional intelligence thing, those become even more important.
It's like those skills become more valuable, right? Which leads me to, personalization. We've all seen those super accurate Amazon recommendations. Kind of creepy, right? But this article, it takes personalization to a whole new level. It says by 2025, AI is going to power hyper-personalized experiences in retail and goes way beyond just those simple product suggestions.
Yeah, like imagine your whole shopping experience is tailored to exactly what you like. Product recommendations, yeah, but also customized discounts just for you. Walk into a store, and the digital displays, they change based on your style and what you bought before.
That's kind of amazing, but also a little freaky, right? It reminds me of this book, Everybody Lies, by Seth Stevens-Davidowitz. He talks about how data analysis can reveal all these hidden things about human behavior. AI is definitely going to tap into that big time.
Oh, for sure. Data is the fuel that makes AI go. And as AI gets better at understanding our data, those personalized experiences, they're going to get way more sophisticated and hopefully a lot more useful.
Okay, so let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk about how AI is going to affect decision making. We've all heard about AI diagnosing diseases, right? But this article says AI's role in making decisions across all sorts of industries is going to be way bigger by 2025. Like in finance, AI could help institutions make super fast trading decisions.
What's wild is that AI can process and analyze mountains of data way faster than any human could. So that means faster, data-driven decisions in finance, healthcare, even law enforcement. Think about doctors using AI to look at medical images, which helps them diagnose things more quickly and accurately.
It's like having this super smart second opinion, helping us see things we might miss, right? Speaking of seeing things, the article also gets into AI and cybersecurity. Looks like AI is going to be our main defense against those increasingly sophisticated cyber attacks.
Yeah, as businesses become more and more reliant on data and digital systems, cybersecurity is super critical. Imagine AI constantly monitoring all the network traffic, finding and stopping threats instantly before they can even do any damage.
It's like having an AI bodyguard for our digital lives. JP Morgan Chase, they're already using AI for fraud detection, actually. And for anyone who's interested in the bigger picture of AI on a global scale, there's a great book called AI Superpowers by Kai-Fu Lee.
Oh yeah, Lee's book is awesome. It really digs into that whole global race for AI dominance and how it'll affect different industries and economies around the world.
So, ready for another example of how AI is going to totally transform things? The article talks about how AI could completely revolutionize supply chains. Think DHL, but like on a whole other level. They're already using AI to optimize their delivery routes, but by 2025, it's going to be crazy sophisticated.
Think about it. AI predicting when demand is going to go up or down, optimizing warehouse storage, even anticipating disruptions like, natural disasters and figuring out how to handle them. That could mean way less waste and way fewer delivery delays.
No more out-of-stock messages. I'm all for that. And if anyone's interested in learning more about the future of transportation and how AI fits in, the article mentions a book called The End of Traffic and the Future of Transport by David Levinson and Kevin Krichek.
Oh yeah, that one's great. It's for anyone who's curious about how AI is going to reshape the way people and goods move around. But let's switch gears for a minute. Let's talk about something a little closer to home, the workplace. The article says AI is going to transform how HR works. Everything from recruiting to training, even employee engagement.
So no more awkward job interviews. I'm in.
Well, maybe not quite that yet. Think about it like this. LinkedIn is already using AI to connect job seekers with potential employers. By 2025, AI could analyze like video interviews to see how well candidates do with soft skills, or it could create custom training programs based on how people learn best.
So instead of replacing people in HR, AI is actually making it more efficient and personalized.
Exactly. The article even suggests that this could lead to happier employees who are more engaged. There's a really good book on this too, Human Plus Machine, Reimagining Work in the Age of AI by Paul R. Daugherty and H. James Wilson.
All right, get ready for this next one because this is wild. The article says AI is going to become a content creation machine. It mentions the Associated Press using AI to write news articles already. But by 2025, AI could be creating all kinds of content.
Like imagine AI writing marketing stuff, creating scripts for videos, even composing music. That could totally change how media marketing, even the arts work.
That's exciting, but also kind of scary, right? AI writing the next big hit song. Wow. If you want to dig into that idea more, the article recommends a book called The Creativity Code, Art and Innovation in the Age of AI by Marcus du Sautoy. It's all about how AI and creativity intersect.
Yeah, it's a really cool look at how AI can actually help us be more creative and open up all these new possibilities in art and innovation.
This deep dive's already been a whirlwind. We've covered how AI is going to impact automation, personalization, making decisions, cybersecurity, supply chains, even the workplace and content creation. And we're not even done yet. There's still so much more to unpack.
So true. We've just scratched the surface. Stay tuned as we go deeper into some of the even more mind-blowing stuff about AI in 2025, like artificial general intelligence and what that means for all of us. Welcome back to our deep dive into AI in 2025.
But it feels like we've already gone to the future and come back, with all these incredible examples.
Yeah, we're just getting started. This article, it really hits home that AI, it's not just about robots and algorithms. It's about how this tech is going to completely reshape how we live, how we work, how we interact with the world.
One thing that really stuck with me was artificial general intelligence, or AGI. It sounds like something straight out of science fiction.
I know, right? It sounds futuristic, but AGI is basically the idea of an AI that can, think like a human. Imagine an AI that can learn and reason about all kinds of stuff, just like we do.
So instead of an AI that's built for just one thing, like playing chess or writing music, AGI could theoretically take on any intellectual challenge that a human could.
Exactly. Now, AGI, it's still a long way off, but this article, it gets you thinking about what could happen if it became real. Some experts think AGI could help us solve some of humanity's biggest problems, like think climate change or poverty.
It's like having this superpowered brain working with us to figure out these really complex problems. But are there any risks? I mean, what if it gets too smart?
Well, that's a good question, and researchers and ethicists are talking about that a lot. Some people, they worry that AGI could get out of control, even become a threat. But others say that if we plan carefully and develop it responsibly, we can make sure AGI stays beneficial and aligns with what we value as humans.
It's definitely something that gets people talking and raises some big questions about the future. But for now, let's come back down to earth a bit and talk about some of the more immediate ways AI is affecting things. The article mentions how AI could revolutionize education, which I think is super interesting.
Imagine, every student has their own personalized AI tutor that adapts to how they learn and how fast they learn. It could totally change how we learn, make education way more engaging and effective for everyone.
Yeah, it's like having a teacher who gets you, knows your strengths and weaknesses, and customizes your lessons. No more struggling to keep up or being bored in class.
Exactly. Plus, AI could even help teachers with stuff like grading, so they have more time to focus on individual students and give them more personalized support.
So it's not about replacing teachers with robots. It's about giving them these amazing tools to make learning better for every student. It makes you think about how much potential AI has to personalize so many parts of our lives, from education to healthcare.
And speaking of healthcare, the article talks about how AI is going to revolutionize how we discover and develop new drugs. Imagine AI looking at tons of medical data to find promising drug candidates. That could lead to breakthroughs for diseases we can't even cure right now.
That would be amazing. If we could discover drugs faster, that means life-saving treatments could get to people sooner. How does AI even do that?
Well, AI can analyze all this complex biological data, simulate how drugs interact, and even predict how well potential treatments might work. That speeds up the whole research and development process big time.
It's like having a virtual lab assistant working 24/7 to speed up medical breakthroughs. It's crazy how AI is being used in so many fields, from education to healthcare to even creative stuff.
Yeah, and on the topic of creativity, the article even mentions how AI could change how we create art, music, and literature. Imagine AI working with artists, musicians, and writers, helping them push the boundaries of what's possible.
I've seen some AI-generated art, and it's pretty impressive. But can AI really be creative? Or is it just copying what humans do based on the data it's learned from?
It's a question that's up for debate. Some people say real creativity needs consciousness and emotions, something that AI doesn't have right now. But others think AI can still come up with new and interesting art, even if it's not driven by the same things as humans.
It's a super interesting area to think about. And it makes you wonder, how AI will continue to blur the lines between human and machine creativity as it gets more advanced. But with all these amazing things AI could do, we got to acknowledge the risks and challenges too, right?
Absolutely. As AI gets more powerful and becomes a bigger part of our lives, we have to think about its impact on society and the workforce. Like, some people are worried about AI taking jobs because it can automate so many tasks.
Yeah, that makes sense. If AI can do some jobs better than humans, what happens to those people who need those jobs to make a living?
It's super important that we see these challenges coming and start preparing for them now. We need to invest in things like retraining programs to give people new skills that are in demand in this new AI-driven world.
It's like we're at the beginning of a whole new industrial revolution, and we got to make sure everyone benefits from this technology, not just a few.
For sure. And we got to think about the ethical side of AI too, making sure it's used responsibly and doesn't make existing inequalities worse.
Like, we need to make sure that the algorithms aren't biased against certain groups or used in discriminatory ways.
Exactly. It's so important that we have these conversations about the potential downsides of AI, not just the exciting stuff. The article talks about the need for strong rules and guidelines for how AI is developed and used.
It's like we need to set some ground rules for this tech. We got to make sure it's used ethically and benefits everyone.
That's it. It's not just about the tech itself, it's about how we decide to use it and what kind of future we want to create with it.
This deep dive has really made me think. We've covered so much, from AGI to the more immediate impacts on things like education, healthcare, and the creative industries. And we've talked about the importance of being aware of the risks and challenges, along with all the amazing possibilities.
Yeah, it's a lot to process. Stay tuned as we wrap up this episode by looking at the human element in the age of AI and exploring some key takeaways and resources so you can learn even more.
Wow, we've talked about some really amazing stuff in this deep dive. AI changing industries, changing how we learn, create, even make decisions. It feels like AI is going to make the future so different.
It really does feel like a future full of potential. But with all this talk about algorithms and data, we can't forget one really important thing, the human element.
That's true. We can't forget about the human side of all this. AI is a tool, right? And humans created it for humans.
Absolutely. And the article makes a good point that even though AI will automate a lot of stuff, it's not about replacing humans completely. It's more about helping us do more, freeing us up to focus on what we're good at.
So it's like humans and machines working together, each doing what they do best.
That's the idea. AI is amazing at processing huge amounts of data, finding patterns, making predictions. But humans, we're the ones with creativity, critical thinking, empathy, that ability to understand complex social situations.
It's like AI takes care of the grunt work, and we get to focus on the more, nuanced and creative stuff in work and life. But how do we prepare for this future where we're working side by side with AI?
Well, the article talks a lot about education and upskilling. We need to make sure people have the skills to thrive in a world powered by AI. And that's not just technical stuff like coding and data analysis. It's also about those really human skills we were talking about.
So it's not just learning to code, it's about getting even better at the things that make us human. Creativity, critical thinking, communication, collaboration.
Exactly. It's about developing those things that AI can't replicate. The future belongs to those who can combine human ingenuity with the power of AI.
This makes me think about jobs. If AI can do certain jobs better, what happens to the people doing those jobs now?
That's a real concern, and it's something we need to address head on. Governments, schools, businesses, they all need to work together to create retraining programs and support systems. That way, workers can adapt to the changes in the job market.
It's like we're entering this whole new era of work, and we got to make sure everyone has the chance to succeed.
Right. The article actually mentions a book that dives into this. Life 3.0, Being Human in the Age of Artificial Intelligence by Max Tegmark. He talks about the philosophical side of AI and what it means to be human in a world where machines are getting smarter all the time.
That sounds really interesting. I'm adding that to my reading list. There's so much to think about as we head into this AI-powered future.
It is complex, but it's also really exciting. As we wrap up our deep dive into AI in 2025, I think the biggest thing to remember is that we need to be both excited and responsible about this technology.
We need to be open to the ways AI can solve problems, make things more efficient, and improve our lives, but we also need to think about the potential problems and ethical issues.
I agree. It's about making sure AI benefits all of humanity.
Well said. This deep dive has been so insightful. It's really given me a lot to think about as we move towards a future where AI is everywhere.
I'm glad it's been great exploring this with you.
And to everyone listening, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI in 2025. Keep exploring, keep learning, and stay curious.